Hi everyone, and welcome to another Wine Steward video. Thanks for joining us once again to hear about some new wines and some exciting things happening up on the WineBar, and a reminder about next week's events. But first of all, I would like to thank Lauren. Last name will go undeclared. I don't know if it matters, but Lauren is a wealth manager. She helps people with their investments, and she's done several events with us for her clients. And we've had she and her peeps here, a few times, and we've also taken it on the road a couple of times, hanging out like we did last night in the backyard at Ruby Hill. And there was a nice group hearing about how people should handle their finances, just hanging around and having good wine and cheese at the same time. What was really cool, especially for me, is all these attendees were women. And they were there because that is in fact Lauren's specialty, to cater especially to women and help them with their financial decisions. And it's pretty cool. At any rate, I want to thank her also, not only for letting us do yet another event with her, but for giving me an excuse to get this bottle right here open. Yes, the bottle right here in the middle, Domaine de la Charbonnière, Vieille Vigne, that means Old Vines, Châteauneuf de Pape. All of these labels look the same if you don't look closely enough. But if you do, you realize the fine print yeah, they're all 2019s, they're all Châteauneuf de Pape, they're all from a producer called Charbonnière. But they are different quality levels of bottlings from that vintage. So all of them are from their vines in Châteauneuf de Pape. And yet the baseline wine, delicious, showed it at an event last week, made a lot of people happy, sold a lot of wine. This has been on the shelf. But this is to announce that these two just got here in smaller quantities. These are the more special bottlings of Domaine de la Charbonnière. They both, I believe, have received 97 point, maybe even 90 point ratings from Jeb Dunnick. The other critics have also weighed in very, very positively. 19 is a great vintage. This is a great producer. This is just our letting you know that I don't have an upcoming Châteauneuf de Pape event to show these to you in, and therefore, just count on the fact that we're finding you good wine, and the fact that this is here now and won't be here by the time we're doing a Châteauneuf de Pape event. They are coming in the numbers of like 2 cases of one and 3 cases of the other, and I've already let a few people, insiders, know that the wine's here. So these bottles are already selling. And like I said, last night, Lauren accommodated my getting the Vieille Vigne version open, and it was so delicious. I can vouch for it, especially now. But I would, in any year, recommend this particular Châteauneuf de Pape producer to you, Charbonnière. They are here. Come in and ask for them. Say, what was Jim talking about? Maybe you want to take like a screenshot of these right now. That would be one way to remember, because we often have these awkward conversations at the counter downstairs where I'm not necessarily there. There's a staff member who might have seen the video or might not have, and you're trying to describe this funky looking and sounding wine to them. It's not funky tasting though. I promise you that with a little bit of memory saving, in other words, take a screenshot or something, you will be able to score some of this and you will love it, I promise. Now, let's get to our WineBar theme real quick. We have built the WineBar menu. I couldn't get in here quite as early today, so this video is getting produced a little bit later in the morning. At my age, I'm no longer burning the candle at both ends like I used to be able to. And so having done the event at Lauren's place out there in Ruby Hill, having stayed late at that, couldn't really come in at 5:30 today. So anyway, but the menu's done, it's published, and we're gonna tell you all about it. This is the sparkling wine of the week. It is from the northern part of Spain, the Basque area of Spain. It's made entirely of a grape called Andarabi Zuri. And are you sorry you asked? You didn't ask, but I had to tell. At any rate, it's vibrant, fun, sparkling wine that tastes like no other. It doesn't taste like champagne. It's made like champagne, second fermentation in the bottle, but this has a more savory kind of a flavor to it. I think it's pretty cool. I think, of all things, I was thinking this morning when I was tasting it again that I have nailed what it would go really well with, a Caesar salad, especially if you like the anchovy aspect of a Caesar salad. So get in on that. Now, I want to tell you that we always have a rosé of the week as of now. As of now, all the way through probably October, we will show you a different rosé absolutely every week on the WineBar menu. And it's usually one that's just come in. It's almost certainly going to be a 2021, nice and fresh. Well, I got a little confounded as to which one to put on the menu this time. So I put on 2. First of all, this just got here. This is Sojourn Rosé from the Russian River area. It does actually have a Sonoma Coast appellation on there, but a lot of the fruit is in fact Russian River. These guys, as you may well know, the label's familiar, right? Maybe the color is not. These folks are Pinot Noir specialists, and this happens to be 100% Pinot Noir Rosé. Look at that beautiful color. Smells so good. I've always thought the Pinot Noir Rosés might be California's best foot forward with rosé. You know, we know the south of France has it nailed with Cinsault, Grenache, the Provence style, but I think we are excelling with Pinot Noir based rosés. They have, and they're different. They have a more silky texture. So there's rosé number one. I told you there will be 2 glasses to choose from. Maybe you need to have one and then the other. Well, look at this. This is the Walls. Yes, the Walls is a fantastic winery, fairly new one up in Walla Walla, Washington. The Walls refers kind of irreverently. It's the nickname of the state penitentiary there in Walla Walla, the Walls. But more positively and happily is this release of a beautiful new 2021, the Walls Grenache. Now, the Walls is a fantastic small winery. The former winemaker of Bryant family headed up to the Napa Valley to make something called Force Majeure, and now he advises on the winemaking here as well. I have visited this tasting room. I admire everything they make. And at next week's Washington State event, for which there are still 5 seats available on thewinesteward.com, we will feature not 1, but 5 different wines from the Walls. Yes, they will be kind of like the focus winery. We're going to have probably 14 wines that night. My list of ideas is too long, and it's a painful whittling down from about 20 wines to 14. And once I do, however, 5 of them will remain on the list from the Walls. These guys are great. These are new releases. Only 20 cases of each of these 5 wines from the Walls came to California. That's it. And we have spoken for 15% of those. In other words, 3 cases of each have come to the Wine Steward. So this is because I want to show you things that are good from somewhere else. These are good. You should know about them. This is not 100% Grenache. This is Grenache plus Maubed from the Yakima Valley. Lovely. It rolled in this morning and I had to get it open. You know me. This will be on the list too. We'll have the Upchurch. This is made by Chris Upchurch. Great Cabernet. It's going to be a great, great tasting. You who do not know Washington will know it by the time you come away, and you'll have a great admiration for it upon your departure. All right, the white flight of the week. Here we go. These are 4 whites. I try to have a theme going all the time, and all I can think of is 4 whites with really funny sounding names. So here's one. This is a Gruner Veltliner. We've all learned how to say that recently because we have found out that we really like this varietal. This is Austria's best known white varietal. Gruner Veltliner. It's the name of the grape, okay? Gruner Veltliner. Fun to say. Really fun to drink, especially on a warm day like we had yesterday. I know it's cooled down a little bit, but I'm sure we'll have more hot days coming up. So get out the Gruner. Get your Gruner on. How about that? I am sucking that one down. This one is slightly pétillant. Do you know what that means? That's French for like slightly, ever so slightly fizzy. The French word would be what? Frizzante, right? I don't know what the German word is. I'll think of it. All right, so Gruner Veltliner is wine number 1. Wine number 2 is going to be, yes, we've shown this once before to very good effect, so why not do it again? This is Milonas Assyrtiko. Milonas is the producer, Assyrtiko is the grape. It is probably Greece's best white grape. So we've just shown you Austria's best white grape. Now here comes a great one from Greece. This does not come from Santorini, however, because that would cost about $45, $50 a bottle these days. This is from Attica, which is near Athens on the mainland. It's delicious, kind of briny. I think we need oysters with that one. All right, white number 3. This takes us to Chile. We've shown this wine before too, but nobody's buying it because they can't pronounce it and they have no idea what it is. So let's just keep this in, well, I still got wine in there. Let's keep this right in front of you and keep showing it. These flavors are different. They're not weird, but they're different. That's all right to be different. Ooh, yeah. Savory again. We're back to savory stuff. This is the País grape, otherwise known as the Mission grape. Well, isn't that a red grape? If you've ever heard of the Mission grape, you do know that that's a red grape. It actually mutated here to a white variety. So you've got País Tinto and País Blanco now from the Maule Valley of Chile. This is very cool wine that hardly comes to anyone but the wine steward in California. So come on, get in on something exclusive. All right, there's the País Blanco, and then the final wine, the final white with a funny sounding name is Manitou Salon. That sounds funny, right? How about Sauvignon Blanc? Not as funny because you've heard of that, right? But Manitou Salon is the location a little west of Sancerre in the Loire Valley. They're a nice alternative to Sancerre as far as price. It's not inexpensive, but it doesn't cost as much as fancy dancy Sancerre, and it gives you very, very, very much the same effect. Maybe a little more flesh in the mouth. There's all the sass of Sauvignon going on. Really nice texture. That's lovely stuff. Manitou Salon, remember that name? Just like Quincy, you might want to say Quincy, but Quincy is how you say another Sauvignon Blanc name there. Touraine, what else? Well, Puy-Fumé, you've heard of that perhaps. And of course, Sancerre. Those are all near each other in the eastern Loire Valley, all specializing in Sauvignon Blanc. This Manitou Salon is the latest arrival thereof. All right, red flight. These are 5 reds that go very, very well with barbecue because, hey, Memorial Day is coming up, and we should be memorizing. No, we should be reverently memorializing and also having a nice time with our families, right, and friends. So let's celebrate and remember with barbecue, as we typically do on this particular weekend, and get serious about it with a magnum, a whole magnum of Gigondas from Château de Montmirail. Château de Montmirail is going to be based on Grenache. It also has little bits of Syrah and Mauvais going on. GSM. GSM is just like Châteauneuf de Pape happening in this bottle. This is a location, well, maybe 15 minutes drive away from Châteauneuf de Pape. Oh, that's fun. And double your pleasure with a magnum of Gigondas. We have several of these lying around. If you have a group coming over, I mean, magnums make a nice statement, right? You know, and the wine often tastes better for magnum and definitely ages better in magnum. Larger the format, the longer it can age. So, good stuff. The second wine on the flight takes us to El Dorado County. And from there, you are often getting really heavy-duty, high-power, high-octane wines. I admire this particular producer for somehow referencing gracefulness in that hot area up in the Syrah foothills. This is Skinner Syrah. After that big Grenache-based Gigondas from the 2019 vintage, this is very elegant and pretty. Wow. I hope you smell your wine. Please smell your wine. In fact, I am going to put this into this glass where it will become even more sniffy-licious. Oh, it's pretty, very pretty. Wow, almost European with its elegance. Skinner from El Dorado County in the Syrah foothills. That's near the Shenandoah Valley. If you've gone to Sutter Creek in Jackson and gone tasting, wine tasting in Plymouth, this is adjacent to that. Now, you would think a Pinot Noir would not be a good fit for barbecue. You would also wonder why we're putting a Pinot Noir after a Syrah. It works. It works because this is Wrath from almost the Santa Lucia Highlands. It's right across the road from being able to be called Santa Lucia Highlands, so they have to use the more basic generic name of Monterey on there, but many of you have come to know Wrath. It's a tasting room experience I do recommend. You can visit a tasting room in either Carmel or out where the winery and vineyard actually is, out there in the almost Santa Lucia Highlands. So this is Wrath. It uses 2 different clones of Pinot Noir, Swan and 828. These guys are Pinot Noir specialists, so they have about 6, 7 different bottlings of Pinot. And this one is what we chose for you, especially because you tend to like around here a richer, yummier style of Pinot. That's why this one will work with barbecue. Wow, fruit and almost like smoky fruit. It should work well with the smoky effect of grilled food. And after that Syrah, I think it works. The fruit's a little bigger. Nice. Wrath Pinot Noir is back on the wine bar. Now, why don't we go down to Argentina? Argentina, we should probably call it. Argentina, of course, is most famous for what grape? Malbec. And here we are furnishing that. This is from the Cuatro Gatos Locos, which means basically the 4 crazy cats. There are 4 famous local winemakers there who got together for this particular small production project from I want to get this pronunciation right. The Valle de Uco, but more precisely, the Alto Gualtayari. That is becoming kind of a culty location for great Malbec. They pour dark there. Look at that. That is some dark stuff from the Four Cats. Ooh, boy, that's intensity that I think everybody would understand, especially if they're having some really rich grilled meats, barbecued ribs, that kind of thing. I guess barbecue and grill are different, but they, you know what I mean, okay? Deep, dark, soothing, smoky again, palate feel. Nice ruggedness. That's good. All right, final wine. Final wine. Yeah, look at this. We're doing this video in record time. All right, this is from Australia. No, don't run away. Come back. A lot of people gave up on Australia, having maybe OD'd on it, maybe too much eucalyptus and just too much alcohol and all that. This is not a shy wine, but this is a great example of what Barossa Valley of Australia can do. Yes, we're going down under, but we're going to the other down under. This is Shotfire Shiraz, we should appropriately call it, from Thorne Clark, a wine that we actually were carrying maybe 20 years ago, and we're back to carrying it again. I actually like it better now. Not because I have gotten back into Australian wine so much, but because they are making this better now. It's a little more elegant. Yeah, it's big, dark. Wow, it's in your face. However, it is big done right. I say that about wines that are just like rich and delicious, but not awkwardly so. And I think this plays, especially if you put it into the correct environment, which would definitely be barbecue or grill. Okay, I got that right now. They are different. That's a pleasurable mouthfeel, but not stupid. Really, really good. Come into the wine bar. We're gonna get these. Well, they're open now, so why don't you come right in? Come right in. The menu is being printed, and we would love to see you. Happy Memorial Day. Have a meaningful weekend, and thanks again for watching.